Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Did you guys see this? SBI invests $20 million in core banking API integration firm OpenLegacy. So this is SBI Holdings, guys. We know they're a partner of Ripple. Japan's SBI Holdings has invested $20 million in OpenLegacy Technologies, an American software firm that smooths API integration of core banking systems. And here are some of the clients for OpenLegacy. Citibank, FIS, and BNP Paribas Cardiff are among the clients for OpenLegacy's platform, which helps them to create microservices-based APIs to extend their core banking systems to the digital world, including the web, mobile, and the cloud. Guys, this is interoperability. We clearly know about SBI's relationship with Ripple, and we also know about BNP's relationship with Ripple as well, the connection there. So more reaching out, more investment in other firms that can help this ecosystem move along and to create that internet of value. The system lets companies create APIs without the typical cost, staff, time, and risk, bypassing complex middleware and connecting directly to the core banking system, automatically generating the APIs and offering a variety of deployment options both on premises and in the cloud. SBI says it will now recommend using OpenLegacy's API platform to regional banks as part of its efforts for regional revitalization. And so I'm sure a lot of you guys were thinking, yeah, but isn't SBI supposed to be using Ripple Tech for this kind of thing? And, Brad Garlinghouse has gone on the record saying Ripple technology won't necessarily be used so much for interbank purposes within the same nation. So, bank to bank within the same country. Ripple technology and using XRP is more optimal for that cross-border solution, right? When they need to source that on-demand liquidity to convert fiat to fiat, so on and so forth. So SBI spells it out down here, right? They'll be using the OpenLegacy's API platform for the regional banks as part of regional revitalization. So again, some of the players within this report here are connected with Ripple, and to me looks like the internet of value is just growing by leaps and bounds. Guys, I saw this from the Bank for International Settlements. Now, this with regards to the financial system and how we're seeing it work as a whole. So the Financial Stability Institute proposes a conceptual framework to analyze policy responses to FinTech called the FinTech tree that looks at these aspects: activities, technologies, and policy enablers. And guys, the Bank for International Settlement has posted this tree here, and you guys can see this here. You have policy enablers, enabling technologies, and FinTech activities, and some of the key items revolving around that. Now, when you get into the tree, when you look at these different branches, you're looking at deposit and lending, capital raising, asset management, payments, clearing and settlement, insurance, and crypto assets. And along the line, as I've been doing these videos, I've been hearing about different use cases for XRP every day. And we know we've heard about deposit and lending. We know we've heard about asset management, payments, clearing, and settlement. Crypto assets over here is a given. Insurance, have we heard about insurance? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure you can put that on the blockchain. And capital raising, equity, and crowdfunding. This just goes to show you guys that blockchain technology really is going to be permeating these sectors. And even though they don't mention XRP here, I think XRP will probably be very integral to, let's say, 70 or 80% of this. I'm not saying all of it, but it just goes to show you that, even the Bank for International Settlements is now posting these diagrams so that people on the outside can see, people even within their world can see and understand where this is going and how it's going to be solved using DLT, blockchain technology, and not naming names, but probably Ripple and XRP. It's all about utility, and Marcus Treacher says the same thing. It's all about utility, solving the liquidity challenge to power global real-time payments. So he's saying this with regards to real-time payments. Andreas H. at Swedish Gold responds here, yes, sir, posting this here, the liquidity indices for ODL-enabled exchanges, showing the Bitstamp one here in blue, XRP to USD, Bitso in red, XRP to the Mexican peso, Bitstamp also, XRP to the euro, coins.ph in green down here, and then the BTC markets, rounding it up, XRP to AUD, so very, very helpful there. And yeah, guys, it is about utility. It is going to be about how much we can leverage that cryptocurrency to solve problems within the financial sector. Now, I also saw this from Michael iPinky7 on Twitter. That's iPinky77 on Twitter. And he points this out, which was really, really interesting. 19, which is greater than 25% of 70 CLS banks are on RippleNet. Okay, so that's over 25%. Now, his thought is that these guys will be the market makers. He gives credit to @Fame21More here on Twitter for finding this information. So big shout out to both of you guys. Thank you so much for sharing that. And he links to this, CLS Trusted Market Solutions. So it shows some of the biggest banks here that are connected within the Americas, the EMEA, and the Asia Pacific. And I'm not going to go through all these banks. We've talked about these banks numerous times on this channel. We know a lot of them have partnerships with Ripple, like Santander, just to name one there. Let's see what we can see in Asia Pacific here. MUFG, we know they're definitely one as well. And so if over 25% of these banks are on RippleNet, it only makes sense that these guys could potentially be the market makers, could be the big fish that help with that liquidity, help with the buyers and sellers, right, on that grand scale. The market makers, because you guys know one day you will want to sell your XRP for a profit. And so I think we'll probably have a few options there. We'll be able to, sell our XRP on regular exchanges as we do today, but also there will be these market makers, these people who will be buying XRP for that big utility for those companies that are going to be making those high value payments. Very, very interesting. So thank you, iPinky77 and at Fame21 more on Twitter. And guys, finally I saw this. Google taps ex-Ripple employee for new Chrome payment system. So is Google taking on Ripple, or are they just adding to the ecosystem? Google's move still hinges on draft ideas yet to be realized in Chrome. So while Google has been cautious about directly using cryptocurrencies, the effect of distributed payment protocols has been increasing. According to a recent Gizmodo report, the tech giant is looking to build a new payments handler API, which will launch initially on the iOS version of Google's Chrome web browser. Google has decided to suspend paid Chrome extensions and switch to an interoperable W3C standard that will roll out on its iOS first. So the new system will employ the ideas and efforts of Adrian hope-bailie, creator of the Hyperledger and former Ripple employee. And so for those of you guys who do not know, he is the head of the Interledger at Coil, co-chair of W3C Web Payments WG, building the Internet of Value. So let's go back here for a second. So this tweet from Tehal Benedict XRP, and he posts all the information here. Google is changing how Chrome handles payments. So again, going over what we just talked about here. And is this a threat? Google hiring one of Ripple's former employees to help them with payments. We know Google's a huge player in the space. And, like Apple, like Google, and all those big companies, Facebook, they, I think, are finding, they're realizing, if we can dip our hands in a little bit of everything, we are going to be superpowers and a force to be reckoned with. So some people might think that this could be a threat to Ripple technology. I personally do not think it is a threat for Ripple, and I really don't think it's a threat for the XRP ecosystem either. To me, I think this is just part and parcel of how we're going to see the world change, right? Google's going to have their in-browser payments. Facebook might have something too along the road once they get that Libra thing sorted out. And Ripple is going to be that option for banks, and the XRP ecosystem, in my opinion, is going to grow because of all these other little factors, because of these other companies doing their own thing. I think personally, Google will help the ecosystem. I think that this will maybe get the idea of in-browser payments popularized even more so that more people know about it. It hits the mainstream, and then everybody and their grandmother are using in-browser payments. And of course, it'll all be interoperable with RippleNet and the use cases, right? We're just thinking right now of what are those small ways? What are those, those very laser focused ways that we can send value from one person to the next? But guys, this industry is still in its infancy, and I actually think it's beneficial that Adrian hope-bailie is helping Google along with this project. And I'm sure there will be detractors. I'm sure there will be people with an opposing viewpoint with ideas about why this could crush Ripple. I personally don't think it will. So will this affect Ripple's progress in the payment space, or will this development add more value to the Internet of Value at large? I'm sure you guys have an opinion too, so I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.